All right. Welcome back to the channel. So, Bob Arum and Top Rank bring boxing back with a whimper. The numbers come out related to the programs they put on last week. And let me tell you, it really does prove that what Dana White says about Bob Arum, that he needs to quit. He needs to do something else because this approach that he has taken to boxing is not working. Let's talk about the numbers for the fights that took place last week in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be one of those videos where it's kind of a numbers type of thing, and we're going to talk about the business of boxing. I know that there's a lot of people that really only want to talk about what happens in the ring and what's going on, with the fighter and who's going to be the champion and all that. But the world of boxing, as many fighters will tell you, promoters will tell you, it's a business and it's a for-profit business. And the fact that people are able to make money off of it and and have their involvement be profitable is the reason why we get to see these fights. So when you see things like what happened last week, you have to wonder whether or not Top Rank is really going to be able to stay around for the long haul. Because in a situation where you have many boxing fans that have nothing else to watch, they don't have anywhere else to go because still the country still is on a semi-lockdown, right? People are not going in mass to restaurants and not going out, running around doing a lot of things other than, there's some people out there in the streets doing stuff related to police violence and police violence. I mean, you got to say brutality, just say violence. The violence related to that are out there, but for the most part, all you really got to do is boxing, right? I mean, if that's your sport and then you say that there's a boxing match on and you haven't seen a boxing match in a long time, you would think people would be jumping out of their chairs to go see it. They've got what you call pretty much a captive audience, right? So how does Bob Arum and ESPN fare with a captive audience where the people are in the house, they have access to ESPN, they're boxing fans, they should have tuned into the fight? No, not so much. The numbers came out and they had 3 cards. One was headlined by Shakur Stevenson. Another one was headed by Jesse Magdaleno. And the third one was headline between Magic Mike and why would dude name your shit Magic Mike? Magic Mike and Anthony Greer, right? So the only event of all of those to do decent numbers was Shakur Stevenson. So here are the numbers, and we'll talk about it and analyze what they mean to me in this video. But before we get into that, I gotta say, because I always forget to do this in these videos, man, thank you guys so much for subscribing. Thank you for continuing to tune into the video, watch the videos and come to the live stream. And thank you, man, everybody that has recently signed up and continue to support on the Patreon. And thank you guys so much. The live streams, the super chats, you guys really, I really appreciate you. So let's go over the numbers. And so for the first card that they had was the Jesse Magdaleno, right? And they did 300, it peaked at 392,000. Peaked at 392,000. Let me tell you, that is a good ratings for a Showtime card. That's a good rating for a Showtime card that has not 1/10 of the subscribers that ESPN has. ESPN has 8, 10, millions and millions. I don't say 8 and 10 millions, way more than that. They've got, I don't know anybody that doesn't have ESPN. Let me put it that way. I know a whole bunch of people that don't have Showtime, right? So to get in the middle of a pandemic where nobody else has anything to watch, in a sport that they've been starved from for months. Only the most, it peaked at 397,000 or no, excuse me, 392,000, and their average was 311,000 on ESPN. Terrible. The next fight, Shakur Stevenson peaked at 609,000. Now, look at this though. The average for the show for Shakur Stevenson was 397,000, right? Not too much different than the average for Jesse Magdaleno, right? He averaged 311,000. Shakur Stevenson averaged 397,000, but the peak was significantly higher at 609,000. And they all tuned in when Shakur Stevenson fought. So people were not really interested in the fights that took place before. When Shakur Stevenson got on there, 609,000 people watched Shakur Stevenson, which is a good showtime number for a network that's that huge. Next week, Anthony Guerrero and I can't remember, and Magic Mike. 350, it averaged 350,000 and peaked at 503,000. You peaked at 500,000. Errol Spence Jr. got that. Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr., Adrian Bronner, I do believe Gervonta Tank Davis, all get those numbers on Showtime when boxing is not starved. The numbers suck, okay? That's just no other way around that. Those numbers are terrible. Now, why are their numbers so bad? I don't think that there's any mystery to it whatsoever. It's because Top Rank does not build American black fighters. That's simple. And it has been that way since the mid-1980s. I don't remember. I have not seen Bob Arum stand strong behind in a black American fighter since Sugar Ray Leonard. And Sugar Ray Leonard was a co-promotion with Don King. I've seen him trash fighters like Guillermo Rigondeaux. I've seen him out there refusing to promote Terrence Crawford in the same fashion that he promotes Vasily Lomachenko, as if the American fight fans want to see somebody from the Ukraine because, whoa, he got 2 Olympic gold medals for the Ukraine. Woo, no. What it's going to do it is a bunch of people from Omaha, Nebraska watching the fight. A bunch of people from Dallas who are Errol Spence Jr.'s fans that want to see Terrence Crawford fight, them watching it, right? All of those guys watching. And actually, if you look at the rankings of ESPN, Top Rank on ESPN, the number one guy as far as their rankings, their ratings, has been Terrence Crawford. Even though Terrence Crawford's numbers have slipped considerably from when he first came on, so is everybody else's. It's like they started with a bang, or well, not even a bang. They started with a decent, they started with decent numbers over there on ESPN, and it went from decent to just absolutely terrible, man. And Bob Arum admitted it on the first. He was like, yeah, the numbers were bad for Jesse Magdaleno. I mean, dude, for real. If you have an opportunity to sign a kid from New York City, right? Some kid, like, if you have an opportunity to sign somebody, even like a Chris Colbert, right? You have an opportunity to sign somebody from a major city. I'm not sure where Chris Colbert from. He might be from Philly. Somebody let me know in the comment section where Chris Colbert is, because I'm just using him as an example of a young fighter that they probably had an opportunity to sign, but they would never look to sign, right? Just like Terrence Crawford. Bob Arum and those guys didn't look to sign Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford fell into their lap. It wasn't he didn't get recruited by Top Rank. He got found by somebody else, and then they eventually sold the contract to Top Rank. But you can continue to expect to see this type of stuff take place with Bob Arum and Top Rank. Same thing goes for the Tyson Fury stuff. I don't care what you guys think about Tyson Fury you guys in the UK thinking about Tyson Fury is the reason why people tuned in to pay for the pay-per-view with Deontay Wilder. No, he's not. No, he's not. His numbers suck. His numbers, his standalone numbers in the United States, where he is the only fighter, are terrible. Terrible. The attendance is terrible. The viewership is terrible. The fights were terrible. Nobody's interested in Tyson Fury, but they're just trying to sell a dream and think maybe we can compete with the MMA and with the WWE. If we can just get that crowd, we can be super successful. No, dude. In the United States, the two most active demographics in boxing are Black American fight fans and for the most part Mexican. We call it Latino or Hispanic, right? I think the proper thing is Hispanic when you're referring to like Puerto Ricans, South Americans that are in the United States, and Mexicans that are in the United States. But you really want to know who the crowd, the most of that is Mexican fans. Now, Bob Arum said, like, well, these numbers really aren't, you really got to take them with a grain of salt because they don't include the ESPN Deportes numbers. And, ESPN Deportes might be 50%, if not 60% of the viewership that you get on ESPN. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Bob. Sure. Let's do that. Let's add, matter of fact, let's just do 100%. Okay. Let's just say that just as many people watched it on ESPN Deportes as they watched on ESPN. That gives you a whopping average of 700,000, which for these fights, which still sucks. And at the end of the day, it's because Bob Arum refuses to serve the audience that is most interested in the sport of boxing, because he's got this dream that somehow he's going to pull people out of MMA back to boxing. It ain't going to work, dude. It's not. And it's definitely, and there's not even any need to do it, because Europeans in America have no problem whatsoever watching black fighters fight. A whole bunch of watched Mike Tyson, watched Sugar Ray Leonard, watched Muhammad Ali, boxing fans watch black fighters just like they watch black basketball players, black football players, and any other sports that black people engage in the United States. And that's because we're from the United States. We speak the same language. We're from, by and large, or in certain ways, from the same culture. We interact with each other on the sports level all the time in an adversarial and a cooperative manner. Dude, promoters, will you just stop trying to take over the world and take over the country that you have? Because you see, that's why Eddie Hearn came over here thinking, oh man, this is sweet. I'll just snatch up all this, because these dudes don't even know what they're doing. They got all this talent and they're not signing them, not promoting them. Man, please. Eddie Hearn would promote all these dudes. Yeah, he doesn't think any higher. I don't believe he thinks any higher of the fighters than Bob Arum does, but he would feature them, put them out in front, and try to sell those guys as stars so that his business can do well, and he wouldn't be wrapping up all his personal stuff into it. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think, and with that, I'm out. Peace.